Hi YouTube family, welcome to Life with Miss D. It's Saturday morning and it's about 8:23 and I need to get to the Weight Watchers meeting. And I'm not going to be late today, so let me get out of here. Went last week and I weighed 177 pounds, 0.4 ounces. So 177.4 was my weight. And I don't really think I did too well this week. We had bad weather this week, some ice. I had to stay in the house. I don't know. I don't think I did too well. And yesterday, unfortunately, they had pizza at work. And my husband wanted catfish for dinner, and I should have told him no, I didn't want fried catfish, and I did have some fried catfish last night on Friday. So anyway, we'll just see what happens at the Weight Watchers meeting. When you have to get there 30 minutes early, everybody weighs in, and then the leader, leads the meeting. And so I haven't been tracking in my app, in the Weight Watchers app. I haven't really been tracking. I really haven't. And that's where I struggle. I got to really take the time to put in what I eat into the app. I haven't really exercised this week. It's been so cold. I've been in the house. I haven't been to the gym or anything like that. I don't have a gym membership. I really like to walk outside. That's where I prefer to walk or go bike riding. But we'll see what happens, and I'll be right back when I arrive at the Weight Watchers meeting. Okay, I'm back, and we have arrived at the Weight Watchers meeting. Let's go inside. It's about 8:40. I'm on time.
God willing, I'll be here every Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm here at the meeting, and I'm going to be weighing myself in just a few minutes. I'm in line, and you have to wait in line.
I even pooped, so. Well, you really got this. Hey. It's just because I'm not in this mode that we don't want to wait. Eureka! Oh, me. Do you mean to hold that so you're not weighing that?
No, I'll sit it right here. It has a tripod thing. I can sit here. Thank you, though.
Okay.
All right. The moment of truth, you guys. Oh, that ain't bad. Okay, let me let it see it. Can you see? 173.2. 173.2. So I did lose a little, didn't I?
Yeah,
4
I would say
pounds.
you lost more than a little, yeah.
4 pounds, so that's good. I'm trying to document the journey. Sorry.
You're fine. Oh, you should.
I'm gonna get it.
Oh, Lord have mercy. This is a brand new member. This is nothing. Oh, yeah, this is just for people that like just join today. It doesn't give you nothing to sign. No. They used to. Now you can go in
It's Instagram.
Well,
It's
tell
not
me
YouTube.
about
It's
your week. So I heard so many times about being iced in on the scale this week. And it's the truth. I felt that. I also was iced in and the whole family is at home. My husband is not happy that we were all home. I was doing my meetings in the dining room. Day 2, I got kicked out, got told to go to the bedroom. He made me a little office space in my bedroom. Yeah, I mean, he made sure that, and I really enjoyed it because I think I've mentioned I live on a lake. And so my room is lake facing, and so he actually put it was in our old dining table, was my new desk, but he put it on the window, so I actually was looking out at the lake. I was like, oh, I like this is nice. So that was actually quite nice. But yeah, there was lots of things. What were some of the things that like made it out of your routine? Like the things that was hard for me was we were at home. I didn't have all the normal foods that I have at work, right? Work feeds me. I was like, oh, what am I going to have for lunch every day? Like, what am I going to do at home? And we were low on groceries, so we really didn't have a whole lot extra to do much and didn't venture out to get more. So that was a hard part for me. I was like, well, I just got to eat what we have. And then I was like, well, then what we have is not very good. Like he was starting baking things like biscuits, and I was like, well, I'll eat that, but dang, this is not what I need. And then there was banana bread, and it was like, my goodness. So there was part of the time I actually met up with my fitness coach at work. We have a trainer, and she does one-on-one consultations, and so I had my follow-up time with her on Zoom, and so she was like, what's going on? I was like, well, I'm not keeping up with the normal routine, and through meeting her, I was like, I haven't even eaten lunch today. Like, and she was like, well, that's part of the problem. I was like, I had 3 slices of banana bread today, but I've not eaten lunch. So it was just a hard time, I've got to say. So I'm happy for the normal getting out again. Yesterday I went back to work, and today I'm here with you guys. And so what are the things that you found yourself missing if you were kind of stuck at home or
Yeah.
I say leave my pajamas in the house because for 3 days.
Yeah. It happens. We didn't really, like we have a little girl who's 3, like, we kept her in pajamas, like it just wasn't worth it,
Well, hey, when my pajamas in the house, but it was warmer than my blue jeans and shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have
And I had these fuzzy house shoes, I had a pair of socks and fuzzy house shoes on. Man, I was warm. And then I had my little blankie, shoot, couldn't beat that.
Yeah.
Willie sitting over there like this, trying to find him something else to put on to get warm, because he was dumb enough to put some clothes on.
Did y'all lose power?
No,
Just go.
just go.
You got a thing on the wall you can turn up and down.
I'm not gonna turn it up any higher than what it's already set up. I refuse.
Refusal. We're making sure.
We
Save that
gotta
money.
set in the winter.
Yes. Well, I am one that will change it up at all times. I'm like, well, I'm cold. Let's put it up. I want to warm up. But, I'm also trying to watch, like, our spending. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I
See,
should
that's-
get back
that's me.
into that, that frugal mindset of, like, scheduling it or keeping it lower and all of that, but.
Well, we got an all electric department. Hello. So, our light bill, I think, was $105, something like that, last month. And I don't want it to go up
Right.
a whole lot more than that.
Right.
I know it's gonna go up some because of this week, but.
What else? Tell me about your week, you guys. There are successes, right? It doesn't mean that being iced in or having something that is not unusual happen to you doesn't mean you automatically gain weight, doesn't mean that you fall off the rails. Like, there are ways, right, to like keep things at the core. You may not be able to do everything that you normally do, but you might focus on, you know what, through this craziness, I'm gonna really focus on getting my water. Or even though I didn't make this meal and that meal because I'm out of my routine and I'm at someone else's house or I'm at a different location, I can still watch what I eat, right, and have some general principles to guide you by, right? It doesn't have to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna do that, even though we have that mentality because we wanna do that all or nothing, like, we're gonna go all in, right? I've told you about my streak on there. Well, I think I complained about this, like, sometimes it'll tell me, like, I'm about to lose my streak. Well, I lost my streak, dang it. And I was so mad, and I had tracked, though, and I, like, even asked the help people about it, and I was like, I know I tracked, why is my streak, so I think it has to do with tracking after, like, 11 p.m. and maybe it coming from an Eastern time zone situation, but that made me mad. And then, I didn't have that little motivator, and I lost my streak legitimately because I stopped, I didn't track for a day or two, and I lost that, and so that was difficult for me, for sure. But that's something that I was thinking about today. I've often thought about someone who will pick like a goal of doing something for like 75 days straight, right? There's like this routine out there where you can like work out for 75 days and you work out one outside, one inside, something along those lines. I don't know. You take a picture of yourself every day. I forget what it's called. But I was talking to this person who was doing it and I was like, well, hey, how's that going for you? She was like, oh, I stopped. And I was like, what happened? She was like, well, one day I fell asleep and I didn't take a picture. I worked out and everything, but I didn't take a picture that day. So it wasn't like a box I could check that I did that. And so the next day she was like, well, I slept in. And I didn't do the thing. And I was like, and in my head, I found myself slightly judging. And I was thinking like, really? You didn't take a picture, but you could have kept doing, you did all the work, but you didn't take a picture. Like, you could have got up the next day. And then I was on my way to Weight Watchers today and I said, I lost my streak and then I stopped tracking. I was like, how silly of me to do that. And I turned that around. I was like, look at me, thinking in my head, why did I do that judgmental stuff in my head when I do that kind of stuff every day as well, right? And we all have to turn the table sometime and remind ourselves that, like, it's so easy to be that all or nothing mindset. You gotta go at it perfectly or it's not good enough, right? That's not the way it works. We're like in this thing called life where all of this is helpful for our health and our just quality of life, and we gotta keep on going in that way. Phyllis, you were gonna say something.
I tracked every day this week, from Saturday to yesterday. Even though slowly, and I tracked everything. I was proud of myself. But I did, I didn't miss a beat.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. We had
I'm not a tracker. I'm not, but I did this week. If I ate it, I tracked it, and I ended up with 2 weeklies left. But one of the things that I saw, I will have like a 3-point breakfast, and then a 6-point lunch, and a 4-point supper, and then 15 points in snacks. And I thought that's where I'm messing up. I'm so mindful when it comes to meal time and looking to see what I'm having and piling on vegetables and all that kind of stuff. But it's in that time between lunch and dinner and going to bed that I'm having a 1-point snack. And then 15 minutes later I'm having another 1-point snack. And it's just constant. it's the Weight Watchers, but it's either 1 or 2 points, and then before I know it, I've done 10 points of snacks. And so that was an eye opener for me. I did not realize it because I wasn't tracking.
Right.
But once I did it this week, I thought, well, there's your problem right there.
That was the way my deals were going. I was eating
Makes you aware.
so many, about 3 points for breakfast, and maybe 4 or 5 points for lunch, and about 3 or 4 points for dinner. Well, I've got this load of points left at the end of my dinner, and now what the hell am I gonna do with them? You know?
Oh, I didn't even worry about what I was just thinking, well, I didn't even realize I
I
was
think
doing
a
that
bowl of popcorn.
until I looked at it. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that that's where all my points are going.
Right,
Is
and
in
that awareness comes from tracking,
And I
right?
didn't want to use all those points in snacks. You know, I couldn't figure out that's gonna do me any good.
Right, when it might not be, maybe indulge in a bigger snack, you know, so you can really like concentrate on that point, it's like for you. I think also what's important to remember as we are tracking, and if we have been away from tracking, right? Tracking is such a central part of this program and that awareness, and it's a part of a program because other people who are not doing Weight Watchers, tracking food is that awareness thing, right? They're tracking calories or macros or something like that. Points gives us this easy to use way to do it, right? But when we're tracking, it brings us this awareness. And when we get away from tracking, we just kind of start to estimate in our mind, right? Like we kind of get loose with it, and we're like, well, that was about a quarter of a cup, or we didn't weigh on it, or something like that. But then when we get back to tracking, sometimes you might have such a great week at tracking, like scale, or tracking a while, and you realize when you get on the scale that you're like, oh, you actually might be lower than what you were a couple of weeks ago because, you know, of all that non-awareness or kind of shunning that, right? And so that's really helpful.
And I have a question, do we not get extra points anymore? For veggies and water and all
That,
that?
no, that kind
Well,
of,
shoot 'em out, I didn't know that. I couldn't find it. I just had all of this, and where's my extra point?
yeah, that shifted
Okay.
in December.
There's
the
the
new
Kathy,
program.
there's the Kathy.
I missed
Kathy.
I missed all that.
Well, with
So,
the new program, with the Weight Watchers program, we all have the same 0 point fees again, so it's not distinct to the person, and that added friction. It added some like, oh, well, this is 0 for me, but not for you, and maybe I should stay away from that recipe because it's 0 for you, but not for me, but it added friction. And what happens when we're trying to do a plan or a healthy habits and there's friction? You're like, oh, like, you know, it adds a little stress, you stop, you aren't as smooth going, right, with keeping up with those kind of habits. Well, we do have some celebrations, but I wanna hear from you guys, if you guys have any non-scale victories or wins this week that you all wanna share as well.
I did.
Maurice, go ahead.
I had a different set of, problems because we worked through I mean, it wasn't, you know, my boss was looking for me to be at work.
Make sure
You know,
it's a
I-
Watchers are great
I
practice
have
when you go in there.
people that work under me, I need to be there, so I was there. And they bought food for, you know, that's the, you know, gotta buy everybody food, you know, to show up. And, we had like fried chicken one day. And so I was like, you know, I knew the fried chicken was in the conference room, I wasn't going over there, and then they walked around with the fried chicken. Now I got the fried chicken in front of me. So, ladies, I don't know how y'all do it without tracking. I tracked it, so I went on my app and said, okay, I can have 2 thighs. So I had 2 thighs, and I dressed them up with a lot of 0 point stuff, tomatoes, romaine,
Yeah.
spinach, and I had fat-free blue cheese dressing. And I was just fine. And then the next day they had pizza, and I was like, you know, they brought the pizza around, I tracked the pizza, I had 1 slice, and then I went back, got another one, but I still, you know, I got all these points, so it doesn't really matter. So tracking, I'm getting to the point, I used to always eat and then track later, and be like, oh, But, you know, when I tracked before, it seems to help me so much.
Yeah.
I applaud y'all for not being trackers, cause I don't.
No, I don't.
Well, it doesn't work.
I don't like it.
It doesn't work, yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work because, not tracking, it's just because I get in that mindset, I didn't track it, I didn't need it.
Uh-huh.
And then, so why is my weight up?
Uh-huh.
Well, because you didn't track and you ate.
Right.
So, and it is, you say all the time, it's about being mindful. And it's, being accountable
Right.
too.
Because if you track it, you say, I ain't worked that. You know, I'm not gonna eat this because my points are getting low.
And if I track it before, I can decide if it's worth it or not.
Right.
You know, I've got the points, or this is gonna finish out my points for the day. Is it worth it? Am I gonna rather have something later than, okay, I'm not gonna eat this
Right.
now?
Well, I broke down and ate fast food this week. And I had my breakfast, my breakfast is 5 points, I ate a big breakfast. And I tracked what I ate, well, I probably used 4 or 5 of my extra points. I just didn't eat dinner that night, because I ate kinda late, like 2:30 or 3 o'clock, wasn't hungry, so I didn't eat dinner, so it didn't feel too bad.
And that's the thing, is you definitely can eat the things, and it's just about, like you said, like just deciding if it's worth it, right? That is that thing, and so setting up a routine for yourself when you can track before you eat, right, is always gonna be helpful. Like whether it's, okay, I will track my food when I sit down with my plate at the table, right? And then if that's what you have set for your habit, when I sit down on the table with my food, that's that cue, well, I'm gonna track it, right? Like I'm gonna track, or it's before you even plate your food, right? Like it's about deciding when is gonna be that best time to track, but setting up the guidelines around it so you know that that's gonna become that habit. So I have, I think just 2. If I miss someone, let me know. But I have a 5-pound milestone for Ashley. Yay. I have a 15-pound milestone for Morgan. So congrats, you guys. So just so everyone knows, along the journey, as you're losing weight, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, 30 pounds, and then 40 pounds, and then 50, and then 75, and then 100. You get little milestones along the journey. It's something tangible, right, that you can have, you can see, you can touch, and know that this is something you've worked and accomplished for. So you do get those. So we keep track of your weight weekly. I haven't totaled this up from this week as to what we lost, but as of the end amount, so in January, I think I gave you a number, but I want to update you because there was more. In January, this group lost 136.2 pounds.
Wow.
Awesome. We're keeping track of it monthly, just so you can kind of like the collective group, right? What we can lose there is pretty awesome. All right, well, this month's goal in February is all about keeping things simple. I love simple. So I'm really glad for this. And one of the things that we're talking about really this week is setting goals. We talk all the time about goals. I have loved all of like the techniques and the plans that Weight Watchers helps leaders share with our team, because it really is about having the visuals, right? We've talked about like how craving comes, and there's like waves that comes with it. But what happens with a wave, right? Eventually the wave goes down and crashes. And so like it's about like that kind of rising and falling, and sometimes just waiting it out. Sometimes just doing something different, distracting yourself is really helpful with that visual. But then when it comes to planning our goals and having goals and thinking, oh, well, I want to lose this much weight, right? That's a huge goal. Like ultimately what I have to lose, right, is over, I think what I want to lose is like 100 pounds from now. I still want to lose all of that. And so that's ultimately really big. And having those weight goals, how do we do it, right? How do we get there? Saying we want to lose this much weight does not tell us anything about the action. And a lot of times we make these goals even on a weekly basis. Like, well, I want to cook 5 healthy dinners this week. Okay? I want to cook 5 healthy dinners this week. What does that really mean? So for me, who maybe am not cooking any healthy dinners, my husband actually is the one that cooks, so I really don't cook a whole lot. But for me, going from 0 to 5 is a really big jump. So taking a goal that you have, whether it be about exercise or food or, you know, your sleep or tracking, sometimes we have to take that into smaller goals. We've talked a lot about tracking today. So maybe it's, I want to track every bite of food that I eat. Well, if you have not been tracking anything for the last 2 weeks, that could be a really big leap for you to make, right? So starting smaller. So if we were to say, I want to track everything I've eaten, what could be some smaller goals that will work us up to that bigger goal?
Like just
Track
tracking
one meal a
breakfast.
day.
Yeah.
Tracking one meal a day. Okay, I think that's a great goal. What else?
Tracking snacks.
Ooh, okay, taking a specific, tracking snacks. So not even a meal, but okay, how about this? I'll track all my snacks today. That could be really helpful for some of us who are big snackers, right? That alone, because the meals might not be difficult, but the snacks, having that awareness around snacks might be a good thing. What are some other smaller ways we could take, I want to track every bite I've eaten, to a smaller goal? Any other ideas? Could be tracking beverages.
Specific time to track.
Oh, okay. I will track every day at noon. So whatever you've eaten by that day, I'll track everything I've eaten that morning or whatever that could be. That's a good day. Just setting a time, right? That could mean setting an alarm for yourself. Track everything that point. Maybe the rest of the day that you might not track anything, but if you're consistently tracking every day, that habit might stick a little bit. So if we were to take, I'm going to track a meal every day. I'm going to track my breakfast every day, or I'm going to track my lunch every day. Let's take that and break it down even smaller. What could be the goals, or what are the action steps to make sure I can track a meal every day?
Meal prep, like you can prep your lunches or whatever for the week, and then that way you know exactly what you're gonna eat. So then that way it will be easier to track.
Okay.
Especially if you carry your lunch to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, so if you're gonna track your breakfast every day, right? Well, it'll be really easy to track my breakfast if I have my same breakfast already planned every day. That'll be super easy. So what would that require?
Preparation, you know, getting.
So we have to write down even a list of
Right.
ingredients.
Mhm.
We have to plan to make sure we have those ingredients or shop for those ingredients. And then we have to plan a time to make the burritos and burritos is literally what I have to do. So make the burritos or make the breakfast plate, right? So, and this kind of goes back into, I think, a part of what I said as a sample. It might be a good option for breaking down a goal for making a healthy meal every day or something like that, or making a healthy breakfast for 5 days of this week. So it could be either one of those things, but you're breaking it down into an even smaller goal, and then deciding, once you look at the goal, maybe after saying all of that, one of you or a couple of you might have been like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm gonna get all that done, right? Like, maybe that was too big, right? Maybe that was too big of a goal. So then you could back it down from a breakfast every day to, you know what, I'm gonna track 3 breakfasts this week. I have some things in the fridge that I can put together to plan out 3 breakfasts that will easy to track, right? So like, understand, what are some other goals for you guys? I would love a volunteer to share an idea that we could all break down together. Do you have one?
If
Is
you're
it
gonna have,
it has to be tracking related?
No,
if
no.
you're gonna have the same breakfast every day, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Track it, save it, and then the next day,
Just call it out.
just call it up and
Quick
put
track.
it back over there.
Save it.
Yeah, that's,
Save it every day.
yeah.
You might have to type it into every day or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, you could pre-track that. But
Yeah.
what would be a different goal that we haven't broke
I
down?
gotta get some exercise, I gotta get some
Okay.
movement going.
Okay.
Janice and I, we go to the gym at least twice a week, and we do 2 miles on the trail.
Okay.
My goal is to do 3 visits to the gym and do 2 miles each time, but I haven't done that since I've been back, but, yeah. I have a goal in which I'm
Right,
working to.
okay.
So, for me, cause it's gotta be exercise and it just doesn't work well for me just with the food. I have to do some sort of movement, and walking is, about all I'm willing to do, but, right now.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, but, and it works, and it's only like 40 minutes, it's like 40 minutes, if I can just, in 2 miles, in 40 minutes, I
Okay,
can do 2
so
miles.
what are we doing now?
I'm
So
doing-
what's the goal? You wanna walk,
I wanna walk 3 times a week, 2 miles each time I go.
okay, and so what are you doing right now? Is that what you,
Two
two times,
visits,
okay,
2 miles each time.
2 miles each time, okay? So rather than, you could do a couple of things, right? If we were to break that down a little bit, you're right now doing 2 times a week, 2 miles each time. Ultimately, you wanna do 3 visits, 3 miles each time, right?
Yeah.
So how do we break that smaller? We're not gonna just jump up a mile each time you go and go a third day to 3 miles, right? It's not
Right.
gonna happen that quick.
Uh-huh.
So what is the smaller breakdown of doing that? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Anybody have ideas for
A
that?
mile, start out at a mile, however many minutes it takes you, or start out with it if you wanna
So
do
are
this.
you saying like a third visit for just like 1 mile, or?
Yeah.
I would probably even stick with the 2 visits that are going
Yeah.
on right now. And what could that be? Like, if it's 2 miles now, one time I go this week, I'm gonna increase it to 2.225, or 2.5, right? Like, I'm focusing on that. The second time you go that week, you can give yourself just the 2 miles. Like, just focus on the 2 miles, work your way up, maybe one of those days up to 3 miles. And then see about doing it with the second day. And then the third day, you might say, well, this is an extra. I might just do 1 mile, or I might just 2 miles until you've gotten it all,
Might
right?
just need a
Phyllis.
On you, I do YouTube, and if you go to YouTube and type in seated exercises, they have for all different age groups, and you can do 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you type in your Weight Watchers, you gain 2 points, sometimes 3, depends on how long it is. And you don't have to leave your house, you can do it in your garage, you can do it in your bedroom, all you need is a chair.
Okay.
I mean,
And-
and I do the weights, but I can do the weights, you don't have to do weights. And, it helps me with my legs, my knees, I mean, it's pretty interesting, and it's free.
What's the name of it now?
Just go to YouTube and type in seated exercise.
Oh, seated.
Seated, like just seated, like I'm sitting in my chair,
Yes.
and you can do the dumbbell, you can do without dumbbells, you can do the, what you
She's
call
trying to
it?
help you
The
explore,
bands.
since you said all you wanna do is walk, and she's
The
saying, you
band-
can do more stuff.
the band-
I need to do more.
I bought some bands at Walmart on clearance for like $3. They're like 5, 6 different color bands, and they're long and short. Yeah, different strength, and, I do those for like 20 minutes, and I type in, you go to, activity, your Weight Watchers app, and you do seated band or seat exercise, which one that might fit you, and then sometimes you gain 3 extra points.
Yeah, and what she's talking
Yeah.
about with just kind of the app focus there, she's talking about when you add exercise into your week, if you are tracking it in the app, or if your Fitbit or Apple Watch or something like that is tracking it, you get extra points added to your weekly. So those are your Fit points, Dolores.
Speaking of YouTube, I'm recording now, and I do have a channel called Life with Miss D, and it's just documenting my weight loss journey. I lost 4 pounds today, yay! I'm gonna pat my own self on the back. I decided in January I would try to get back to the program and just do the best I can, but it's called Life with Miss D. And thanks for telling me about that seated exercise. I know they do have some exercises, and I didn't know about that one. Thank you so much.
I
They
do
have
want,
yoga as well.
They have yoga. They have
yeah,
yoga.
there's all kinds of things. And in the app, there are exercises. I'm gonna leave you guys with 3 fast facts here. So setting simple goals is not the easy way, it's the strategic way. Okay, so it's about making it work for you, it's making it strategic, it's planning ahead, it's really breaking down a goal into what are the steps that it takes to meet. Number 2, small goals can let us experience success early and often, right?
Yeah.
If we start to increase the amount of times we're tracking, we're like, oh, we can do this more. I can start tracking more in my day, right? And so you get that kind of success that way. And number 3, this helps us build momentum and increase our confidence for future success, right? That same type of attitude that you get when you know you can do something, right? So think about what those goals are that you're working on and, plan for that there. Alright?
There's also a seated boxing that he might like.
Oh.
There's a seated boxing.
Is that right?
Yeah, I go to a personal trainer because I've got serious knee problems. And, my sister has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. And she said that, Danny told me that there's a seated boxing that's very good for people with Parkinson's.
Okay.
But she said, it's quite a workout.
Thank you very much. That's
Well, you know,
really good.
yes. I hope you guys have a great week. If you're new to the program, please stay after. I want to chat with you. If you didn't get a chance to weigh, please stay. I'll weigh you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.